If West Virginia's defensive coordinator Jordan Lesley leaves to be head coach at Troy, who replaces him? I've got a list. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Couz's Corner, your go-to channel for college sports with a heavy dose of West Virginia Mountaineers. Before I get into my list of candidates to replace Jordan Lesley, I'd ask you, if you haven't yet, please hit that red subscribe button. And I really appreciate everybody for getting me to 500 subscribers. I've now reached my year-end goal. Now I got to get to 1,000. Please help me do that. Also, if you like the video, give me the thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with your college sports loving friends. I do college football videos and college basketball videos almost every single day. And also, if you need to buy some sports apparel, whether it be for holidays or just for yourself or whatever, don't forget there's a link in the description box to the Fanatics website. If you use that link, I'll get a small commission, and the money will go right back into this show to help make it better. Now let's get on with it. Troy recently fired head coach Chip Lindsey, who ironically replaced Neal Brown. One of the names on the list to replace Lindsey is West Virginia defensive coordinator Jordan Lesley. Lesley has ties to Troy. He's an alum of Troy. He played football at Troy, and he coached on the staff at Troy a little bit while Brown was there. I have a list of 7 candidates. 3 of the candidates most of you will be familiar with. The first one on the list, Jahmile Addae. Jahmile Addae is an alum and former player at West Virginia, played under Coach Rich Rodriguez. He was also on our staff in 2019 and 2020 under Coach Brown as a defensive backs coach, and in 2020 he was the co-defensive coordinator with Lesley. This season he left to go take a defensive backs coaching job at Georgia. Would he come back to West Virginia to be a D coordinator? I don't know. He probably wouldn't get much of a raise. Lesley's only making about $25,000 more a year than he is right now. Lesley is due a raise up to about $560,000 a year next year. And Addae is making about $500,000 right now as a defensive backs coach at Georgia. Next candidate, Jeff Casteel. Most of you remember Casteel. He was on Rich Rod's staff. He was on Coach Stu's staff as a defensive coordinator, and he was defensive coordinator for 1 year under Dana. Casteel's also been defensive coordinator at other schools, including Nevada and Arizona. And then he's currently on staff at WVU again, but he's there as a defensive analyst, which means he's not allowed to actually go on the field and coach. He basically just breaks down film and helps the coaches come up with a game plan. Would Casteel want the defensive coordinator role? Does he like being an analyst? Does he like staying off the field and out of the spotlight? Would he want to do that again, or would Coach Brown want him to do it again? I don't know what the relationship is like. I'm assuming it's a good one, or Coach Brown wouldn't have retained him. He's been on the staff for 2 years now. Another candidate that's currently on staff, Shadon Brown. He's currently the co-DC and defensive backs coach, and he's currently making about $200,000 a year. So a full-time defensive coordinator role would definitely be a pay raise for him. He would probably more than double his salary. Coach Brown has also coached at other schools, including Colorado. Now let's get to some names you may not be as familiar with. Number 1, Derrick Ansley, who ironically is also on the list to replace Lindsey at Troy. He's a candidate for the job as well, according to reports. Ansley is currently the defensive backs coach for the Los Angeles Chargers in the NFL. It's his second stint in the NFL because he also coached for the Raiders for a while. He's been defensive coordinator under Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee for a year before Pruitt was fired, and of course the staff was let go as well. He's also been defensive back coach at Alabama under Nick Saban for a couple seasons. He's coached DBs at Kentucky, UCF, and his connection with Coach Brown is he coached with Coach Brown on the Kentucky staff back in 2014 when Coach Brown was the offensive coordinator there. Next on the list, DJ Eliot. DJ Eliot is currently the defensive coordinator at Kansas. He's been on Kansas' staff for 3 years as defensive coordinator, and I know Kansas struggles. But are they struggling because they have a hard time getting players to come there, or are they struggling because he's a bad coach? I feel like it's probably the former. I feel like they probably have a hard time getting players because he was also on the staff with Brown at Kentucky. He was defensive coordinator there during that time, and I think they actually saw a lot of improvement while he was their defensive coordinator there. Eliot has also coached at Florida State, Rice, Tulsa, and Texas State. Jimmy Brumbaugh. Jimmy Brumbaugh is currently a defensive analyst at Oregon. He was defensive line coach on the same staff as Coach Brown in 2014. He's been co-defensive coordinator at Tennessee. Although it was short-lived, he was only on staff for 4 games before Jeremy Pruitt let him go, which may be a red flag. but he's also been co-DC at Maryland and Colorado. And he also coached at East Mississippi Community College, which is a really successful junior college and has really put a lot of players at the D1 level and in the NFL. And then he's coached at Syracuse, Louisiana Tech, LSU, and UT Chattanooga. And last on the list, which is the most intriguing one to me, Chad Glasgow. Chad Glasgow is currently the defensive coordinator at TCU. He was on Gary Patterson's original staff, not as defensive coordinator, but as an assistant, as a position coach. He left in 2011 to be defensive coordinator at Texas Tech. The same year Coach Brown was offensive coordinator at Texas Tech under Tommy Tuberville. He was only there for a year and he went back to TCU, but Glasgow was also coached at Louisville and Texas State. Now, as you see, all of these candidates have some connection to either West Virginia or Coach Brown. As you know, Coach Brown, as is with most coaches, likes to hire coaches who he has a connection with, has a relationship with, and he has worked with all of these coaches at some point in time. Personally, I like the idea of bringing Jahmile Addae back or maybe promoting Casteel just because of their familiarity with the program. I think it's great to have West Virginia guys on staff, as many as possible. They know the culture of the state. They know what it takes to win here. And you know they're going to have a passion for what they do. Not saying the other ones won't, but I feel like it's just I feel like it means more to them if they're a West Virginia guy. It's not a requirement for the job, but I think it does help. Well, there you have it. There's my list of potential candidates to replace Jordan Lesley, should he leave and go to Troy as head coach. Let me know in the comment box. What do you think of these candidates? Do you have other candidates that I may have forgotten about? Let me know. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Are there any of these guys that you think would be terrible hires? Some of them you think would be good hires? Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget about the Fanatics link. Also, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Thank you for helping me get to 500 subscribers. I could not do it without you. Be sure to watch this video right here. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.